Hello, this is Mr. Smith, and this is a presentation on supply for the first unit of academic economics. So once again, this is just a little bit of an overview of the economics material, including microeconomics. Yesterday we went over demand, and this is a short lesson on supply. So supply would be everything that is produced and provided. So that includes what businesses make, manufacture, sell, and also occasionally something that people provide, for instance, like labor. So businesses supply most things, then there are occasionally things that people supply in the factors of production, like labor, for instance. We each are suppliers of labor as individuals, but otherwise it's up to businesses, and the government also provides some goods and services as well. So the variables, once again, are the same: price and quantity. And so the two variables that come together to help us understand supply. And we can see that this follows the law of supply. At $15, that's a very high price. A lot of people are going to want to sell something. They're going to say, oh, we can make a lot of money off that. So 5,000 units are going to be supplied each month of this product at $15. And then the opposite is true, that if they're going to get very little money out of it, not a lot of businesses are going to want to provide this product. And so maybe only 1,000 are going to be supplied at $3. Graphing them, of course, we use the price once again on the vertical axis and the quantity on the horizontal axis. And when we plot these, you can see there are 2 points, X and Y. And then so we take $15 and 5,000. Here's $15 and here's 5,000. So we plot that point, and then we plot each of these down to the bottom. We plot $3 and 1,000. And so each of these points is one of these, and we end up connecting the dots, and in this case it makes a straight line. So notice, of course, that is the opposite slope of the demand curve. This is the demand curve from yesterday. If you haven't had a chance, please make sure you listen to that. And so it slopes the opposite direction. This one slopes from bottom left to top right, and that's because of that law of supply. The fact that less is going to be made at a lower price, more is going to be made at a higher price. So the question is then, what influences supply? What causes this whole curve to shift either to the right or to the left? And here we can see instances where that's happened. When there's an increase in supply at all price levels, we have it shift to the right. So this is an increase going to the right. When we have a decrease in supply, we have a shift to the left. And there you can see a decrease in supply at all price levels. So what might cause this? An increase in supply can happen because the government is providing a subsidy or grant money to businesses to make them function or function more. And so then that increases supply. Decreasing taxes or regulation also helps free up economic activity, and so businesses will be able to supply more. If they say, oh, we don't have to worry about where we put our trash or how many hours we work our employees, they can produce as much as possible, and so the supply is going to increase. If they get new technology, automated machinery, for instance, that can also help increase supply at all price levels. Then the opposite thing, and by the way, this also includes producer expectations. So if they know they're going to be able to get a price that's good in the future, the near future, they're also going to increase supply. And then the opposite is true. If their producer expectations go down, like, oh, it looks like it's going to be a bad year, we've been reading about a recession, let's stop producing as much. If the cost of production go up, then and so, for instance, if labor costs go up, maybe the workers negotiate a higher price, for instance, then you might not be able to produce as much. Or if there's a natural disaster that cuts off transportation or supply, or maybe shuts off your electricity supply, is going to go down. If the items that you use to make your products, if those become more expensive, you're not going to be able to supply as much. So all those things will shift supply to the left. And that's what that looks like on the supply curve. So think about that as the next lesson we'll talk about combining supply and demand.